off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to say, you might get the best of him, but sure, never for me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tell Jack to go and fetch your bang. Try that and upstate boy to a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college turned out me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I said, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to say, you might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tell Jack to go and fetch your bang. Try that and upstate boy to a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I say, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Whoa. But college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to say, you might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tell Jack to go and fetch your bang. Try that and upstate boy to a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college turned out me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I said, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to say, you might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tell Jack to go and fetch your bang. Try that and upstate boy to a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, Light that fuse and run. I say, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to say. You might get the best of him, but sure, never for me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tell Jack to go and fetch your bank. Try that and upstate boy to a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college turned out me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I said, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to say. You might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tell Jack to go and fetch your bank. Try that and upstate boy to a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I say, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run.
Yo, what is up, 24/7 Buff Bandemonium? It's Tuesday, it's 8 p.m., and that can only mean one thing. It's time for therapy. It's time for Mafia Anonymous. It's time to get it all out there. We'll talk about that horrible, horrible game, which was actually a very competitive game, but a heartbreaker that happened there on Sunday afternoon. And then we're heading into a bye week, so we're looking at playoff scenarios. We're looking at a remaining schedule. We're looking for the state of the Mafia, and we want to hear from you guys. So, crack a hold one here, okay? And we're going to hit this intro, and we're going to get right into it. Yo. And here we are, and here it is. It's Tuesday. It's the K-Gun Report. You might notice that we are missing one of the terrible twins. So, I'm going to intro the one that is here, my brother from another mother, Mr. Scooter Magooter. Scott, what do you got?
What's up, Swank? What's up, Bills Mafia? Show 'em, Swank. Show 'em. Our man Del Reed hooked us up with some sweet shirts. And what a perfect time for these shirts to come in. I think this is the time when we need family the most.
Yeah.
During these times. We got a bye week coming. It's time to the blood, sweat, and tears we can let dry a little bit. We can still be a little angry about this past week, but there's still a chance. There's still a significant chance. I know there's a lot that has to go down, but if you watch a couple weeks, we'll play out the rooting factors for you guys in the next couple weeks. But very good potential. The Bills, they could still lose one game, I believe, and they'll be safe. It's going to be a hell of a trip, but we still got it. We still got to believe.
In the
Go Bills.
In the words of Lloyd Christmas, so you're telling me there's a chance. Speaking of Dumb and Dumber, that game, man. Anyway, real quick, since we mentioned Dell, we are sponsored by 26 Shirts. Dell was nice enough to send us these guys, and he sent along this little card here that says, "You look good. You should feel good too. Your support has helped raise over $1.75 million right there, man.
Boom.
That's going up in the new man cave here when the new house is built.
Oh, hell yeah.
But 26shirts.com, man, you can go buy this guy right there. You do that, you're helping out somebody. You know what I'm saying? So go check out 26shirts.com, see what Del Reed and the gang's got going on. And don't forget, we're part of the Buff Fan Base Network. Now, before we say what's up to everybody in the comments, we do have a special guest who not replace. You can't replace Jarrod, but he's replacing him tonight. My boy, content creator for 24/7 buffpandemonium.com, Kyle Gobe. What's up, Kyle? He's connecting his audio still. And
Got a check. I
it's
just saw the
connected.
check.
Can you hear us, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, you're on, dude. You're on. You're live right now.
Sounds great.
like the tree in the background already.
Yeah, dude. Kyle's Christmas king, man. Dude is all Christmas all the time.
I'm a little behind this year, but I'm in the middle of setting up the Bills tree. I've got some ornaments here. I thought that if the conversation dies down, we can put up some Bills ornaments while we talk it through.
There we go.
You could check out Kyle's piece over at our website, 247buffpandemonium.com/blogs, a view from 142. Kyle just gives his take on what the game looks like from his perspective, from his section. I was lucky enough to go to the Miami game with Kyle because he's a really great guy and he let me go for my birthday, and we had a blast, man. Why don't you tell him a little bit about your piece, man, and your experience?
Well, this is year 2 of having these seats, so I've been to every game since I got in the tickets, and it's right there in the corner of the end zone it's the top level of the lower bowl. It's like the last seat when you head into the section, and it's right there on the aisle. Like, I don't know if you've ever go to the game, like you see like a bunch of players as they run out the tunnel, they like run down towards the scoreboard side, and a lot of them kind of kneel down and give a little prayer there, and that's kind of like right at the section that I'm in. So it's like right there where that happens. And I would say it's I don't know. I don't know what to compare it to. It's technically part of the rock pile. It's got like the bench seating, right? Not like the regular seats. So I'd say it's a little rowdier than the average seat. I don't know, like if Justin, you were there, would you agree with that? You say it's a little bit of a rowdy section,
Yeah,
or
man.
not so much?
Yeah, no, I think it's very good for us in our 40s. I think there's enough there. It's like enough to like be like, yeah, we're here and we're drinking beer too, and we're yelling and screaming. But it's also like, I don't know. I know you said that one primetime game, it got like pretty rowdy.
That's what I've noticed is
Yeah.
like if it's not Monday night so much, but if it's like a Sunday afternoon, like a 4:30, or a Sunday, or even like a Thursday, like a night game like that, where people don't mind taking the next day off, it's people get lubed up, right, for real. Like it is. It gets a little much to handle, right? Like I think people just show up and they make a whole day of it. But I would say one thing that I do think about the stadium at large, and maybe my section as well, is that like Bills fans are pretty pretty knowledgeable. Like they see, you can hear people shout out like before the play unfolds, like people are like, look at Diggs or there's Knox, right? Like you see people calling the play open and then it goes to them too, right? Like the woman I sit next to, she's had season tickets since I've had them there, and she always shouts out something, and she's almost always right. So I just feel like the fan base in general is super knowledgeable about like just like play to play, right? Like knowing what's going to unfold and what they see and what they hope that like the offense sees too, right?
Yeah, it's dope. That was like I mean, it was a great day. OJ parked across the lot from us.
Yes,
I mean,
saw the juice.
We've never been that close to a murder. It was amazing. And
yeah, not that you know of.
Not the good ones.
The good ones you'll never know, dude.
You don't know about the good ones.
Yeah.
But we were having fun trying to call like who was going to catch the touchdown, where the play was going to go. Like we were doing pretty good too, man. It was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah, I think as like the plays move towards the tunnel side, like as it gets past like say the 30-yard line, it gets a little bit hard, but to see what's going on and see where it's going. But like in general, one of the things I like most about those seats is like you get to watch like it's like the Madden view, right? It's almost like if like you're playing Madden, like you can watch the routes develop as they happen in real time. It's pretty cool.
And you can see the holes open up for the running backs.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You can see line work, right? Like
that's dope. Well, we're glad to have you aboard, man, and hanging out.
Thanks.
And thanks for covering for Jerry. And I don't know, what do you think? We should probably rip through these names. We got a ton of comments in here. Thank you guys for tuning on the viewership. We got our StreamYard shit all worked out. So we're up and running just like we normally do, and we're happy to be here. We got Patrick Hughes saying, what's up, Mafia? What's up, Patrick, dude? Good to see you. We got Rob Mullen, another content creator over at 247buffpandemonium.com. You can check out the cover too. He's got a ton of great stuff going on over there. We got Andrew Jones, new name, man, hanging out. What's up, Andrew? Thanks for coming. And what did you miss, dude? I don't know. You're like the third comment. We'll find out, I guess. We'll see. Let's see. Doug, what's up, Doug? Group Therapy Tuesday. Hell yeah, dude.
Doug, did you your name popped up? It looked like, is that you that got the Duke shirt that Swank created?
Oh yeah, we put out a Duke shirt over there at our bonfire. You can go check that out. Also, 26 Shirts did one the same exact day with Dalton Kincaid. So buy both or just buy theirs, it doesn't matter. But
right.
Let's see. Doug said this one was tough to stomach. Hell yeah, dude, we'll get it. Uncle Jamie, what's up, Mafia? How's it going, Uncle Jamie? Let's see. Corey Blaine. At least we're playing good offense again. Yeah, dude. It's like ships passing in the night right now, right? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think you can hate on this defense and what they've done this season. I mean, I've gone to bat for McDermott and all that. I think it's not about his defense right now as much as some of the defensive play calling or the choices being made or the timeouts or something. Something's happening. Something's happening. John, there's still a chance, a small one, but a chance. I'm not giving up. Hell yeah. He said yet after that. That was solid. We got Paul Rossi. What's up, brother? Lonnie Cook. What's up, Lonnie? Straight from Seneca Castle, I do believe. Chicago.
Yeah, shout out Seneca Castle.
We got Josh Cook. Shout out Seneca Castle. What's up?
Shout out Seneca Castle. SC for life.
We got Chris Christian saying Tuesday therapy session. Hell yeah, Chris. How you doing, brother? Oh, the amazing Paulette Brown. Good evening, everybody. Hey, let's go Buffalo. I still love my Bills. Hell yeah, man. It's all about, I mean, how many times do we get picked on, Kyle, for showing up on a Monday after a loss at school wearing some Bills gear? You know what I mean? When I was younger, I used to get ragged all the time. But I still wore it, damn it.
Happened yesterday.
People are picking on me right now in the comments. It's a Bills podcast.
Well, Kyle's a teacher, so he probably gets nagged down at school for sure still, right?
It is nice though that like the fan base is growing amongst like obviously as the team got better, like there are more kids every year that show up with Bills gear on and a lot less Giants gear showing up to where I work. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, dude. I can't believe it's Giants fans. Is it like a lot of Giants fans down there?
Yeah, I'd say that those are the two big football fan bases there, the Giants and the Bills.
We got Adam saying, what's up, boys? Been away for a few weeks. Sucks after a loss, but let's get through this. Hell yeah, dude. Thanks for coming and hanging. Missed you, Adam. We got Josh Williams, OG, another one of the OGs. Hey, let's go Buffalo. Went out the rest of the way and to the Super Bowl. There you go, dude. Homer it all the way. I love it, Josh.
I did see that a very popular take today was Tom Brady in Tampa Bay was 6-6 before he won the Super Bowl.
I like it. I got
I
a little.
don't know if I like it, but
Well, I mean, it's something.
it's something to grab onto.
Listen, Tom Brady was 6-6. Our offensive coordinator Brady, we're 6-6.
Yeah, sure it is.
It's like I feel more about like the dude, the aliens dude from that meme from the History Channel or whatever.
Oh yeah. I know what you're doing.
Patrick Hughes says, how are the Bills going to get flagged while on a bye week? We all know what's going to happen. Yeah, that's I don't know, man. I'm not one of those dudes that is huge conspiracy theorist, like, oh my God, the refs are against us, whatever. And I usually try to be sensible about it. Like, we're so close to it that we're like, we're getting flagged for everything and they're not getting any calls and blah, blah, blah. But that game was absolutely ridiculous, dude. I don't know how, if you're trying to protect the quarterback, how do you not go back on that call when his jersey is hanging from his collar and right in front of you getting whipped around? And instead of throwing the late flag on that, you throw the late flag on the intentional grounding when he's outside of the pocket and Gabe Davis is 3 feet from the ball. I don't understand what's going on with that.
And there's people arguing, well, the tackle started inside the tackle box. Okay, even if it did, the horse collar part didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so obviously you go on social media and there's people saying, well, Bills fans are crying again. Dude, that was a 15-yard penalty that should have put us at the 2-yard line, taken back 15 yards because apparently the referee didn't see Gabe Davis within 2 feet of that ball that Josh Allen threw. He knew he was there. That's why he did it. But I was pissed.
How many dropbacks did Allen have? How many passing attempts did he have on Sunday? Do you guys know offhand? It was
was it 51? 51 attempts?
Yeah,
I think that's what I read too. It was over 50, and just like the law of averages, like they're not committing any penalties whatsoever. Like it's like, I don't know. It's like in basketball. It's like when you don't get fouls. It's like it happens every play. Like you got to call something. And
yeah,
I'm with you on that, Justin. Like I don't tend to look at refs as a problem, and like looking at like youth sports, and like I hate going and like watching kids play sports now because it's just parents yelling at refs who make like $50 to like ref a game, and it's like your kid's not going D1. Like shut up and like let them play. But like that was just, there's just too many like questionable things. It's like, how is that happening again? Like how are you just grabbing jersey, and not one of them gets called? Like 1 out of 3, right? Like get something
at least. Yeah, I mean, Diggs, there's like a million stills and you could see it live. How about when he got shoved in the back after that touchdown right in front of the line judge, and then you had Jordan Phillips pushing a lineman over the pile, right? Because the lineman was taking swings at the D tackles. Like there was so much shit going on and none of it got called. And then beyond all that, I mean, if you guys are new to the show, or Kyle, I don't know if you know this or not, but like I don't listen to anything for like the next couple of days after like a loss. I can't, like, especially like WGR, I can't listen to like people calling in and solving all the Bills problems, and it just makes me stark raving mad. But like,
you a Christmas music guy?
I'm just all Christmas. It's mostly music, no lyrics, just music.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Christmas.
But yeah, so I don't really know what happened, but the thing with Shaq and Jordan Phillips, did they go after a fan? I saw the little snapshot of the fan screen.
I saw that on just on Twitter or whatever, like that they walked up to a fan and they were barking back and forth, and it looked sure as hell to me that he just shoved him, gave him a quick push.
Oh yeah.
Well, so Lawson came out with an apology, but before that he was stating that the guy had been making verbal aggressive attacks and threats towards the families.
Yeah, Jordan Phillips.
How much is he going to do from the first row?
Yeah.
How much is he going to do from the first row? And he looked like Marshawn Lynch. You see the picture of the guy? He looks just like
No.
Marshawn Lynch. I was like, is this a joke?
I just saw the picture of like over the guy's shoulder and Jordan Phillips getting pulled away by people screaming at him. But then Jordan Phillips's explanation said that he was threatening his family and talking shit and whatever. And we all know like Phillies, the fans are like the worst, like, or whatever. And the thing is, like, there's a certain amount of accountability to know that, like, okay, these are shitty fans and they're trying to scream these things at you and they're trying to get you off your game. Like, that's what they're trying to do. So, like, if you're focused on the field, whatever. But, like, part of what all of us as a fan base love about Jordan Phillips and Shaq Lawson is that they're goofy, but they're no bullshit, and they come across and they like to smack a guy, you know, and they like to joke around the sideline. They hype the team up and whatever. So you can't have all of that and also have like this very, very poised, like, I mean, you can, but that's like a Von Miller guy, you know, like you can't have a million of him, right? Like, I don't know. I just think that like some of the juice that goes into making him who he is also is the guy that makes him get pissed if you're talking about his kid on the sideline, you know? So, all right, we got Jim Graham. What's up, buddy? Mary Jane Brown Hughes, what's up? Is there anything the teams can do about the officiating around the league? We've had talks about this before. Kyle, you got any take on that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like the one that always seems to make sense to me is that like it's time for like officiating to become like a full-time part of the NFL, right? Because like everybody talks like these are part-time employees, they all have like other jobs, right? Maybe that's it, but I don't have an answer for it, right? I don't think the league wants that, right? Like that's a whole bunch of extra salaried guys, like year-long positions.
Yeah,
takes money out of the ownership's pockets, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, it's doctors and lawyers, and they're giving tickets away to their buddies, and they get a cool story for, you know.
Yeah, and like that,
summer.
There was a lot to be said on social media about that guy that was the crew chief for this one. It's like it's Ed Hockley's son, Sean Hockley, and like just like a lot of, I think he's like the Eagles are 6-0 or something like that when he's the ref, and they have like under 30 yards in penalties like each game, something under 50 yards, something ridiculous. Like, so.
I saw that too. Swank, I think there's 3 things they could do actually, and it's a big ask for the NFL. You know, the sport in America that raises the most amount of money and pays all these guys all this kind of money. You have full-time employed refs. Boom, that solves that issue. That way they could take the same classes and be accustomed and know exactly what the rule books are.
Mm-hmm. And have an accountability part to go with it too, right? Like,
boom, there it is, accountability. How many fines are these players being handed just for nonsense stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, Reddick will probably get a fine, but you're not going to see that penalty. We'll never see that penalty, but he'll still get fined. So hold them accountable. Take something from their paycheck if they're full-time, right? Because that's going to hurt a little more because they can't go do their second job. And the third thing is the NFL could handle a 30 extra minutes of airtime by having replays if needed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If they were going to go and do a replay of these pass interference no calls, if you wanted to challenge it, we'd clearly get those 15 yards and the ball back and an automatic first down. Those 3 things will fix the NFL, I think. Officiating.
Yeah, and I think that like you watch other sports, like they have, wouldn't even be 30 minutes, and like you could just have those corrections happen while they're spotting the ball. They could get
in New York,
done, right?
You're right.
Yeah,
New York,
right, or wherever you want. I don't even know if it needs to be. It could just be an extra ref in the press boxes, right? Like maybe even with a microphone on, so that it can be part of the broadcast, right? And they just talk you through like, this was missed, this is what we're going to do, and like you just speak it into existence, into the refs, into like the on-field refs earwig, and it's done, right? And by the time they spot the ball, that's 10 seconds. I think you could get a lot of that stuff checked in that, right?
Oh, for sure.
That was I remember going over to your house, Kyle, and you were watching the XFL games when they got rebooted there like 2 seasons ago or whatever. And
big XFL guy here.
A huge XFL guy. It goes football leagues, CFL, XFL, NFL. We were watching, and you were like, yeah, when they have a questionable call, it goes right up to the booth, but there's a camera on the ref, and he's explaining what he's seeing on the screen to the guy and to the camera. And it's like right there's no question of being like, well, they're out to get this guy or that guy or whatever. He's like, no, this is what it is. You can see his foot's right here on the line, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to reverse this call, reverse it. And it takes what, like 5 seconds?
It was the best part about that league.
Yeah.
Like they did that right. It was nice.
Yeah.
And now what they do is they wait till the play is already confirmed, and then the guys out in New York say defending it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because like the part that they took from the XFL is interviewing the coaches on the sideline right before halftime or right before they come out. And that was the most annoying part of that whole league.
It shouldn't even be a part. Those guys have a game to coach.
Yeah.
Talk to them before and after. Damn.
My one thing that you guys haven't said that I think is absolutely doable, and it does go to airtime, but not it's more local airtime. Make the refs take press conferences. The way coaches have to, the way players do. You have to go out and you have to explain your calls. The head ref, absolutely. And if a side judge has a shitty call or a questionable call or even a cool call, hey, yeah, I saw that. I saw the guy tap and that was, whatever. That would be interesting to see on my cell phone after the game too. Not just what the hell were you doing, but they should have to sit in front of a bunch of press and explain themselves and say, hey, this is why we called it this way. And I think that embarrassment alone from getting called out the same way the coaches do, the same way the players do, that might tighten it up a little bit. But it is like, billions of dollars we're talking about. Why wouldn't you want it called right? I don't get it.
Especially I think especially as like the online and in-person gambling thing is like, it's a real thing, right? Like people are putting down money on this game and like you want it as accurate as possible, right? And like these sports books have a huge investment in the league, right? And like maybe that change will come through there, right? Like or maybe they're already doing it behind the scenes. Maybe this is what they're doing. They're getting the games the way they need it to fall.
I mean, that would seem ridiculous, but some of these games are so damn close.
Yeah.
That you have to at least consider the conversation. As much as out in left field it seems sometimes, and then you watch this 10 penalties in the first half. Bills were dominating still. It's like, we got to control this.
A lot of the stuff that they were calling, I mean, I don't know. You could talk about discipline and stuff like that, but I don't know. I don't know how many half the plays maybe were warranted. There was a couple false starts. There was a couple holding calls that you never saw a replay on, and we see that all the time. And then all this conspiracy theory shit comes up where you're like, oh, well, they didn't show it to us, which is a lot of fun to participate in when you're watching the game live, but it's not really getting anybody anywhere. I mean, we just said,
and like I think just one thing is just like it doesn't seem like this game in particular just didn't seem like it was evenly called, right? Like regardless of whether they were or weren't penalties, like there just was a lot of stuff ignored, just not on the Bills side, right? Like they were just, it just seemed that way, right? And I don't know.
No, you're right. I mean, you heard the announcers even say it. Should have beens.
Yeah,
there's at least 3 or 4 should have beens. The announcer said, and usually they keep their mouth shut about that stuff. So
another one who usually like doesn't, but like I don't know if you guys saw, like Reed Ferguson after the game was just tweeted out probably 6 or 8 plays where he was just like, how is that not a penalty? How is that not a penalty? And like that's just like a team member just who was just so frustrated that like they just let go on Twitter, and was just like, like a guy who's usually not
he's
not that way, right?
Yeah, he's a captain, I think, still too, right? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's like one of those. I mean, he's one of the leaders definitely on the team.
Yeah,
but not a guy that would do that. And if he's willing to do that, then if it was on special teams, offense, defense, he probably would have been inclined to call that side of it out too if he was that frustrated, Right. But that's what's pushing him to the edge, and that's what I don't know. It's. Again, it's not going to get us anywhere, but this one really felt that way. It really felt really bad. There was so many blown calls right in front of officiating crew. Like, I don't know. It's just whatever.
I got one more for you guys.
Do it.
And I'm asking this question because I was really pissed off and I really wasn't paying attention after I saw this play called. The catch by A.J. Brown that he fumbled. Now, I saw the play. I was pissed when they didn't call the fumble, but did they do any replays, or was there any kind of conversation between the refs or anything after that play happened, or was it just incomplete pass, carry on?
McDermott
Because
called the timeout.
I tell you what, when Keenan Allen did it the very next game, not an hour after that play happened, same exact looking play was called a fumble, and they reviewed it and they talked about it. And this AJ Brown one wasn't even a part of conversation.
Yeah, I don't. That was such a bang bang call. I don't. That one was like so far down the lines that made me mad. But one thing that I think is frustrating is like, wow, why wouldn't you err on the side of a turnover? Because then it automatically gets reviewed, right? Like you call it incomplete
that's what I'm
pass and like
saying.
it's over, right? Like that
Yeah.
to me is like that's just again, maybe that goes back to like the full-time thing, but like that to me is just like how are you not trained on a situation like that to like call it in the way that automatically triggers a replay, right? Like
Just
whether or
like
not it's like
touchdowns.
2 feet down in the end zone, right? Anything like that. Anything
Right.
that would like trigger an automatic replay, you should err on that side
Yep.
because why not? Why wouldn't you?
I agree. Any questionable touchdown, just call it to at least
Call
that
it.
way it's going to be an automatic review instead of having a coach waste one of theirs just to see if it's
or like
happened
not a challengeable, like you just run into problems, right? Like I 100% agree with that. That to me is just another thing that's frustrating about football.
Mhm.
But I tell you what I saw. What I saw was a high pass. And when he grabbed it with his hands at the high pass, both his feet almost touched simultaneously. So when I saw those 2 feet hit, the high pass was actually brought down to waist level, which means he has some sort of control on it. He didn't get that third foot down, but he brought it to his hips and he started going forward. I saw 2 feet, a forward motion, and the ball possession enough to bring the ball down to his hips. That should have at least been called, Kyle, like you're saying, as a fumble, so they at least can go and review it 5,000 times and then piss us all off that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it did seem like he caught it high, pulled it into his body 2 feet, and started the turn. And he got punched right as he started the turn. So again, bang bang. Yeah, it's one that I think could have went either way, but they didn't give it the chance by calling it a fumble to even review it and then change their mind if they want it. And I think earlier in the game, they let a fumble that definitely wasn't a fumble be returned for a touchdown, called it a touchdown, and then called it back because the knee was down. So they did it earlier, but they didn't do it then. I don't know. It's whatever. And I get like some of the calls on the field, like again, bang, bang. It's so quick. When you're looking at it frame by frame in HD, you're like, what the hell are you doing? But like really on the field, you have so much that you're supposed to be looking at and like keeping in track. I don't know. I can see how it gets a little hazy. It's like the play clock going to 0 and then turning your head, that bullshit, but in real life, like stuff isn't, zoomed in 500 times with an HD camera. So that's why, well, that's just why.
all that there's so many things too that just can be like fixed with technology, right? Like you're telling me that the guy's got to look up at the little 40-second clock that we all look at the stadium, and then he's got to look down to see it and then look back up and look back down. Like, is he crossing the road, like looking 3 times? Like, how does that not just like buzz in his ear when it hits 0 and then he blows the whistle, right? Like he should be looking at the ball and his ear should be like 0, right? Like it shouldn't be that hard.
They should have a collar
or have a big red ring around the stadium when it hits 0. It goes
right.
You know what I mean?
Or or the ball could light up.
Yeah.
Jesus, like you could like you could have the ball fly. Like how are we still using a chain gang?
Dude.
See, I've always said put little chips on the tip of the ball and then have it at the goal line. That way it goes off like kind of like a hockey goal does. Once that passes the line, touchdown.
I like it.
Somebody's gonna steal my idea now. Son of a
solving
bitch.
all the NFL's problems tonight on the K-Gun Report.
I should call WGR for sure.
Yeah, this is Bill and Cheek Dawaga here. Been a season ticket holder since '63.
Joe Ferguson wouldn't have let that happen. Let me tell you something about Josh Allen. Let's see here. There was something here that I wanted to see.
Was it Frankie Mullins' comment?
I don't know. There's a million comments. You guys are killing it, by the way. And please don't forget that we are part of the Buff Fan Base Network and sponsored by 26 Shirts. Go to 26shirts.com. Spend all of your money. It goes to a great cause, great threads. Del Reed and the gang doing all sorts of good stuff. Just sign your paycheck over to them.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a 3 paycheck month, so go ahead. This last one you could just send.
Is it a 3?
Hey, man, same for me.
Hell yeah.
Right on.
Let's see. Lisa, somebody was asking, why McDermott couldn't challenge the horse collar. It's because it didn't get called. You can't challenge a no call. So,
or is it? Yeah, also like personal fouls, right? You can't.
Right.
It's like certain plays that you can't review.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know enough. The thing I hate most about this is like, this is what three dudes talk about when your team is 6-6. Like
that is very true, dude.
I hate. Oh man, like dude.
It's the what could have beens, dude.
So I want to know. I want to know what you guys think about this. Frank Mullen did have a comment about McDermott kneeling it with 20 seconds left. I've got my thoughts on it. What are you guys' thoughts? 20 seconds left. We have the ball at the 25, I believe, with one timeout. Should we have sent it in overtime or should we have tried?
I think he forgot that we had Brady instead of Dorsey. I think he's not 100% trusting the offense or something. There was a lot of 13-second references, even by the national broadcast before that happened. I think you have Josh Allen, anything's possible. He's proven it to you for almost 6 seasons now. Like, yeah, I would have went down and tried to score points. I think that's what's kind of missing from this team right now. Is confidence.
Yeah, I was furious at that. It made me so angry. Not just that, but on top of it, like, who's icing a kicker?
Yeah.
Right? You had 2 timeouts. Like, you didn't have 1 timeout. You had 2, but you didn't ice it. It was like this half-assed attempt at icing it. He didn't even come out on the field. It didn't even you just called the timeout to call the timeout there. It was like it was like inexcusable to me the way that like I was so angry at that whole way that unfolded, and like I thought about 13 seconds when that was happening. Yeah. I was like, you're gonna kneel it down. That's like 7 seconds more than it took you to get beat, right? Like how and like not just like that you got Josh Allen, but you had Josh Allen like on fire. Josh Allen, like you had
career game.
peak Josh Allen in that game, and like you just kneeled him down. That.
See, not only that,
that's what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, you had a timeout still, and the Eagles didn't have any timeouts, so you could have tried 3 times and twice, 2 times, and if you failed, there's no way the Eagles are getting ball back. Put your knee on the ground,
right?
And
it's 4 plays.
Right. So they had every opportune moment to get 25, 30 yards. Bass has been having a hard time, but he could still kick a 63-yarder if he had to.
Yeah.
But the fact that
what's the harm in trying?
Oh, exactly. We had one timeout, they had none. You should at least tried 2 plays, at least. And with the timeout, the field's wide open. You could have gone in the middle. Do you remember the Minnesota game, guys? Or was it the Detroit game? Remember that? We were going into overtime. Josh Allen threw that dart to Diggs, 35 yards downfield, put us in field goal range. And Bass, it was Thanksgiving game. Won it with a long field goal. I didn't like that move.
So I wanted to ask you guys, like, not just this game, but like overall, like the team's sitting like in a place that is not acceptable, right? Like, as somebody who like goes, right, puts down a fat part of my and goes to these games like on a regular basis, like who are you most upset at about it? And like I right now I can't get off McDermott. Like I'm like it's just, what is he doing? Like what are we doing with this team? Like I just feel like we're wasting it. We're wasting Allen this year. Like it's just middling, right? Like
well, the one time that we see this offense do what we can expect them to do, we would hope that with the way McDermott looked last week calling the defense, you thought, we're in the right spot. The aggressive defense would be called. And we're in a situation now where McDermott made some questionable calls. You do have to point the fingers now, starting with McDermott saying, okay, Josh and the offense are doing what they have to do. Why are these 4 or 5 things during this game now on you? Too many times we've seen guys in the last 5 years. Josh, I know he's 0-6 in the overtimes, but that's not because of lack of points that Josh Allen's not driving this offense and putting on the board. It's when the other team gets the ball back.
Yeah.
And now we're playing prevent defense. We're blitzing. On 3rd and 13, guys, this past week, everybody except for one guy dropped 3 yards past that first down mark to let number 6 there, Smith, catch the ball for a first down. I mean, I don't know why this prevent defense is got such a stronghold on McDermott, why he can't get away from it. You do have to start pointing fingers that way.
So conservative, right? And like, there's so many things. It's like, why are we just obsessed with punishing one of our best offensive weapons? Like, how many times are you gonna put Cook down like that and just like let him sit the bench for 2 or 3 series. It's happened too many times, and like I don't know, man. You ain't benching Gabe Davis when he makes a drop. You ain't benching any other player, but it just always seems like it falls on Cook, and like he's just this like for some reason it's just like ideal that you punish running backs for this, and that frustrates me. It's like I don't want to see Latavius Murray in the slot. Like
No.
I don't want that. That's not ideal. And like he makes the catch, and great, it's 4 yards, but like he's not. He doesn't have the elusiveness and of what Cook can do when you get him the ball in space. And like that 4 yard, 5 yard game that Murray gets in the slot could have been 25 if it was Cook, right? Like he has that explosive potential that you don't have in other players on this team, and you bench him. And like that's another thing that makes me mad about McDermott. It's like, why you do that?
Why you do that?
Why you do that?
Dude, it was driving me
right.
crazy. Like I used to bitch about it to these guys all the time. You would every week it was like Cook is your number one running back and Murray would start every single first series. And I'm like, why is he back there? Like, I like Murray. I like what he does when situationally he gets the ball. I like the power runs, like whatever. But you have James Cook, get him in space, get him the ball, let him run. Like, I don't know why you're treating him with kids' gloves, or you're swatting his patties, or you're trying to make this a 3-headed monster. Like, I don't know. He's got the talent. He's like a top 5 running back in the NFL, and he's sharing touches with 2 other guys all the time. You know, I don't know.
He's pulling up a guy in a practice squad, and like he's been fine, but like why?
Yeah.
Why? Like, you have the guy. You have the one that should be getting 80% of the snaps.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing we had with Singletary. I'm not saying he's Cook. I think Cook is a better running back, but you have these rushes per fumbles that have a higher number for our running backs for the Buffalo Bills, because all these other teams, when a player fumbles the ball, they're still getting their 20 plus carries.
Right.
So the numbers are skewed. Just because a running back fumbles at once, guys, they're not just running the outside and being pushed out of bounds or tapped by the corner. They run through the knit and grit of the interior defensive line with guys twice their weight. They're going to fumble a ball, and to punish them because of it, you're right. You're taking away one of your biggest assets in James Cook, because he can run, pass, block, and those 5 yards that Murray's getting, like you said, Kyle, could be 20 yards with Cook. No, for sure. We've seen it. We've watched it.
You blink and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, he's got 87 yards already, right? Like it's just like it happens so quick with Cook, and like, oh man, I think he's great.
His running style is so fluid. It's we were just talking about it at Scott's on Sunday. Like it's almost Le'Veon Bellish, but there's not as much hesitation. It's like there's a slowdown and then he goes, you know, and it's just so smooth. I don't know.
And when he doesn't look like he has the angle, he has it, and he's outrunning a guy by 5 yards. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Paul Rossi, we can be pissed about losing to the number 1 team in the league. I'm still upset we lost to the Jets, Patriots, and Broncos, almost the Giants. We were better than that. And we'll probably end up 9-8 this year. It's a fair take, man. So if we're looking at who to be mad at, to address your question there, Kyle, or your point,
who do you feel like it's who right now? Like, who do you think takes it?
I think it's McDermott, but I think that he bought himself the rest of this season. Well, I think he bought himself a career here, no matter what. Like I'm a little biased that way, right? And before Dorsey got fired, everybody was banging the table for either Dorsey or McDermott or both to be gone. And my point was that you waited 17 years to find the right guy. The guy's got you there and into the playoffs a good amount of times. How much longer are you going to wait if you just decide like, well, he's gotten us here. Can he get us here? Like, I'd rather start here and hopefully he can get the coaches and whoever he needs to bump him beyond. I'd rather be on the doorstep than start back over.
Like you're okay with like a Mike Tomlin situation? Like you maybe get 1 with Ben, maybe 2 if you're lucky.
I don't know.
I mean, what's the difference in those 2 coaches?
I mean, Super Bowl is the difference.
Yeah, right. But like in the reality, right? Like,
yeah, and
they're just right, like fundamentally, like all that stuff, culture, like they're very similar in those kind of like what they do, right? And I don't know, like it just seems like
I guess
Are you okay with like 15 years of this if you have like a Mike Tomlin style run?
Well, fair enough. but like fair enough, absolutely. But like if you step outside of that, would I be okay with 15 years of this with a Super Bowl or 2?
Yeah.
As opposed to 17 years of trying to figure it out and not being
Just to
able to
get the
figure it out
playoffs.
and not even getting to the playoffs and having, 500 seasons or below for all that time. I mean, if you're like, we talk about it a lot here too, where it's like you're so close to the team and you're so into it and you're so whatever, and we finally are good and we're there and we want it so bad, and we just think incrementally every single season should be more and more and more and more and more and better and better and better, and every single team is that. But if you step back and you're looking at the success that the Bills have had, like aside from the Patriots, right? That's a dynasty you're talking about. Like, what is the expectation for us to go to the Super Bowl? How many times before Josh Allen leaves? To make the playoffs, how many times before Josh Allen leaves? Like, are we expecting to have a dynasty here? Is that what we want? And is that realistic? Because even the Patriots went, 8 seasons without making it to the Super Bowl? Like, whatever. There's like gaps in time. And it's such like a unique pinnacle, like crazy once in a lifetime thing. You're lucky twice in a lifetime. If you're lucky 3 times, like, oh my God, So I guess I've just lived with it so long to where like I enjoy like where we're at because I don't have to worry so much about like whether they're good. They're good. It's just the little finite, stupid little things that got to push us over the edge. And I guess for me, I'm scared that if you take that one building block out of there, it's all going to fall and we'll be right back where we are. And then we got to start over again. And we've been there so many times. I don't want to be. So I don't know if that's like the dreamer part or just, being a bitch or whatever. But like,
So like, I guess like you're saying he deserves the blame, but he doesn't deserve to be like on the chopping block.
Yeah.
Like you're not that far, right?
I'm not,
like,
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I said it last week or 2 weeks ago too. I'm just not there. He's done enough to where like, I used to like say like he could be here until he's in an iron lung. Like, I don't care. Like he brought us out of the dark ages. But for right now, I think the big thing about him is that he lets his coaches coach. I think that's what got him in trouble with Dorsey. I think he didn't have anything to do with the offense. I think Dorsey was the offense the same way Dable was the offense. And he'd make his 4th down decisions or he'd make whatever, or he'd confer, fine. And he'd screw up a timeout the way he still screws up timeouts and challenges and everything else. But I think in the same respect, like Leslie Frazier was the defensive coordinator for the Bills until Sean had to step in for a game and then Sean had to take over. I think in that same respect, he trusts his coaches to coach the positions and the spots that they do. So I think with Dorsey, it was like he wanted to be supportive until it was so evident, and it was like, you got to do something. Everybody knew that was coming. Like after that game, everybody knew. It should have came 2 games earlier, but like it finally came.
Do you feel like he maybe has too much on his plate, being both defense coordinator and head coach?
I think he's done a really good job with the defense, considering all the injuries and everything else. And I think he's a genius when it comes to that. I don't know what we'd be talking about right now if Milano was still in the lineup, if Trey was still in the lineup, if Daquan Jones was still there. Like, there's so many pieces. And you got this aging safety secondary that it's starting to, all the stuff that we've been talking about for 3 years is starting to come true, right? So I think like this defense is like done everything they need to do with what they have up until like the last minute of games, like, for whatever reason. So I'm not really like, I'm not disappointed with that. I'd actually rather him call the defensive plays, but find somebody that is just good enough analytically to let him know when to call a timeout, let him know when to challenge, let him know when to go. Like,
they have those. Yeah. They have the analytical people up in the booth,
but they're not good. They're just not
they
good.
Can't be.
Yeah. I mean,
they can't be.
They're not.
Like, someone needs to say, hey, Sean, we're in overtime. Yeah. We just kicked a field goal. Run the same defense that's been working.
Yeah. Keep the pressure on.
Do that.
All we heard
Yeah.
in the offseason was how aggressive Sean McDermott's defense is, and it is to a point. And then all of a sudden it disappears because they're playing, as somebody said it in the comments, and it's a buzzy thing to say, but they're playing not to lose. They're not playing to win anymore. You know, and they were that team going for it on fourth down and running down your throat and, you know, being aggressive. We're starting to see that offense come back that way, but the defense, you know, it's the same reason we lost the Hail Murray game. It's the same reason we lost 13 seconds. It's not being aggressive enough. It's playing down to the team that is playing better than, you know, it doesn't make sense.
It's like they switch styles in the fourth quarter, right? And it's great when it's like, you know, when we're up by 2 scores, right? But when it's a tight game, it's not happening.
No, you got to shoot to kill, man.
Yep.
So
we live in a world, unfortunately, now where everybody wants to change as soon as things start to shit the bed.
Yep.
I'm not gonna give you all of Andy Reid's stats, guys, but if you have a minute, you guys watching, following, again, appreciate the support. I see these comments coming like crazy.
Yeah.
Go look at the road to glory for Andy Reid. He did make it to the Super Bowl within 6 years, and they lost. But then he continued on to have losing seasons, 6-10, 8-8, not even make the playoffs, 4-12. It took him how many years to finally win a Super Bowl? And I think it's a way to prove that you can't just move on from somebody because the roster is continually changing, guys. We can't help it. It's just the way it is, the way contracts are, the way injuries happen. We have to keep McDermott here. I'm with you, Swank. You can't just get rid of him because he has one bad year. Again, go look at Andy Reid's years throughout the 25,000 years he's coached. You just can't do it. And I'm tired of seeing coaches every 2 years through that drought. And I don't think we want to go through that again because if we do get a new coach, we're starting all over. And you may lose your quarterback because a lot of times with a new coach comes a quarterback, and we can get a lot of draft capital for Josh Allen if that were the case. So
man, I would hope it wouldn't be that.
I know, but you never know. You never know.
If there's a dude that like deserves to be here more than McDermott, it's Josh. Like Josh should retire a bill no matter what. You know,
what's wild about that whole thing you just brought up is like both the Eagles and Reid have both had successes since they parted ways, right? Like the Eagles with like a couple different quarterbacks, a couple different head coaches, and right, and Reid just found his spot.
So what's your answer?
Reid came in the league in 2009. He didn't win a Super Bowl until 2019, guys. It took him 10 years.
Yeah. Well, what's your what do you think? Is it McDermott? McDermott's the only guy you got right now. I mean, it seems like between Scott and I, even though we're defending him, that's where the finger's pointed right now. I think firing Dorsey, he probably bought himself the rest of the season for sure, and into next season.
Yeah, I just feel, I don't know, like I think one thing that's working against him is like you make that move to change offensive coordinators and the offense wakes up and like you don't win games, right? Like 500 yards of offense and you don't win the game. Like if it don't, right, you're 6-6, and if everything doesn't fall your way, now you've kind of backed yourself into a corner, right? You're kind of left like, who else are you going to point the blame at, right? And like, I don't know, like I don't know if it's this year, but like you got a lot of people in my situation who are watching carefully because that next stadium isn't just season tickets, it's season tickets plus personal seat licenses. And you want me to dole out extra money to come watch the team play and buy my seat and the rights to my seat. And I want that product. I want that product to be the best that it is if you want that extra money out of me, right? So I don't know, like you've got maybe a lot of things working in a certain direction. You got like 2 more seasons in this stadium, right? Like are people going to be willing to go there and buy those seats and those seat licenses if you're messing around with 500 with Josh Allen as your quarterback?
That's a great take.
Yeah, man.
Big noteworthy thing to take
in consideration. 142.
There it is. Boom. Did you just drop a mic?
That's the thing I do. I just said the thing I do.
I do that thing. That thing's on 24/7 buffpandemonium.com/blogs. A view from 142. You can go check out everything that Kyle Gobe has put out. And man, they're good. They're good reads. I especially liked your last one very much. Did you read it, Scooter?
I did.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I kept up on it.
Yeah. Kyle texted me the first line during the game.
That flyover
like,
was so good.
It's like you got it. That's what you got to lead off with. 100%.
Oh my God, it got me such a patriotic feels when those four they were so close. Like
They were
it couldn't
low.
have been more
yeah.
than it was amazing. Just the way they cruised over there and like, then they brought all the dudes on there. Like you could see them waving from the helicopters as they flew over, and then they brought them all out, and later in the game, and they all came out. Oh man,
Dope.
got me in the feels, man. It's good.
All right. Let's see. It's 8:55. How long? Scooter, what are you in for a little bit? A little bit of overtime or no?
I got some sick kids, so we can go a little bit. I'll do this.
So you want to avoid them and stay in the garage? Is that what you're saying?
I don't want to catch what they got.
All right, let's go here to we're gonna skip the wheel and do it next week, guys. We were gonna do it this week. I had it set up, but we're gonna do it next week. And if you're in here, you get added more and blah blah blah, and we'll figure all that out. I also had to rattle the reeds. We're not gonna do that. Kyle hates that wheel, dude.
I don't hate it. It's great.
Swank, you saying we're adding new names to the wheel next week? You
Why
said, Swank?
not, dude? Why not? Let's add everybody's name to it. Go ahead and tell them what it is.
Hey, if you're listening and you haven't commented yet, leave a comment. You'll enter for a chance to win this Gregory Rousseau Salute to Service. Thank you, servicemen. Mini helmet signed Gregory Rousseau. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'd make nachos in that thing. Flip that upside down. Throw some chips in
Put
that
it on
thing.
my cat's head, dude.
Oh my God! Throw it in the microwave. Melt the cheese up. Hell yeah.
Yeah. You also get a signed Endless Mountain Derelict's good goddamn 12-inch record.
Wow, dude, I got that.
You do. You got one of the first ones. You did have to pay for it.
By the way, I'd call them Gruchos if I made nachos in them in that helmet.
Gruchos.
I like it.
All right. Let's go to pick'ems here. We're in a bye week. Usually, Kylie, we go through the AFC East games and then pick a couple extra games here and chair.
You pick with the spread or just straight up?
Just straight up win losses. Let's see. So we have Falcons at Jets. It's a 1:00 game.
Ugh. I hope we don't have to watch that. That's not our result.
You know we will, dude. We absolutely will, dude.
I'm gonna need some Gruchos for that one.
You need some Gruchos, man. Extra Gruch.
Yeah, dude. Gallons of Gruch.
This is crazy to me. Atlanta's top of the division at 5-6. What the hell's going on with that NFC South?
Call right now, dude. Atlanta's gonna win it all.
Take it. I'm gonna give them the win too. Help us out a little bit.
You going Falcons?
Falcons over the Jets.
You writing these down?
Jared's gonna watch later.
Oh, Jerry, put your picks in there so we got documentation so you're not cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I don't know what the records are, but I know Scott's up, and then it's me, and then Jerry's in the basement. Oh, Scott's 43-29. I'm 39-33, and Jared's 536-36.
Sounds about right.
Hell yeah, Kyle, who you got? Falcons or Jets?
Jeez.
Woof. Your girlfriend. Woof.
Yeah, that's yeah, you know what? I'll probably watch Home Alone if that game's on. I probably won't watch that. I mean, yeah, it's gotta be Atlanta.
Right?
I don't know.
Dude, is Aaron Rodgers coming back this week? What's the scuttlebutt?
Hey, Jesus. Do you think that was a bong that he dropped a few weeks ago on the sideline? Did you see that video?
100% it was. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Dude, he eats an eighth of mushrooms and then rips bongs to his dome the whole game, and then talks about how that's the only reason he would talk about how good Zach Wilson could have been, is if he does all those drugs.
That's why I think he's coming back. He thinks 2 out of his 3 Achilles are still intact.
Achilles.
You know that isn't the Jets? Isn't that the only team that the Eagles lost to?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dark horse, man.
I saw a funny video today, close up of Zach Wilson, and on the caption underneath said the only quarterback to beat the 9-1 or 10-1 Eagles. And it showed Zach Wilson.
Yeah. Oh well.
Holy shit.
I'm going Falcons. I'm going Falcons on it, dude. I can't pick the Jets. We have Chargers at Patriots. Oh boy, this is interesting because you can't trust the Chargers, And the Patriots, they're done with Mac, right? They benched him again. Like,
I don't know what the hell they're
they
doing.
got to be done. It's funny, like when we're sitting here, we're talking about being 6-6 and like, oh my God, what are we going to do with this team? We're not the Patriots right now. You know, that feels good. And the Chargers, dude, they got to be more. That fan base has to be so distraught. It's like Phillip Rivers reincarnated right now. They're like just never going to make the playoffs.
But they live in California, so like, how bad is it? Right?
That's
It's like
true,
sunny and
yeah.
80 like all year round.
That's true.
They'll get over it.
But you do have to deal with like a lot of like California people. So
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's
you said it in your phrasing, California. That's enough to deal with. Jesus.
All right, Kyle, who you got? Chargers or Patriots?
I can't take the Chargers going across the country. I can't do it. It's gotta be the Patriots. I take the Patriots.
I love it.
Why you?
No, that's me. That's why I can't pick the Chargers. Every time I pick the Chargers, they lose. You know, they're going to be 500 no matter what. So,
Yep.
I'm going Patriots.
I'm going Patriots too, but mine's because I think they're going to start Mac Jones. He's going to come up with a win, and then this whole conversation is going to be brought up again.
You just want the chaos, dude.
I love it.
That's good. Mike V says Chargers. John's Chargers. Patriots are tanking. It's an interesting statement, man. I don't know. I don't think Belichick can tank. I don't think it's in his mumbly.
Why would they want to tank if they're going to let him make the draft picks?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Unless they're getting rid of him.
He's going to number 2 overall. He just gets this like guy from a D3 school.
Yeah, Cole Stranger,
a D tackle,
smartest guy in the room.
Yep.
Strange.
He's playing chess, and we're all playing
checkers. Yeah. Belichickers. Oh man, let's see. Paulette says Chargers. Patrick says we may not be the Patriots, but they did beat us. Come on, Patrick. Come on, play along, bro. Oh wait, Patrick Hughes is legendary for reminding me of this.
Here we go, folks. We're in overtime.
That's right. We're in overtime because we go over our time, and Justice General allows us to do that because we're unprofessional, and that's the way it goes. So
you got a sponsor for overtime? Overtime brought to you by?
Overtime brought to you by 26shirts.com. Go to 26shirts.com and give all of your money because they will do better things with it than you will. It's the holiday season. People are in need, and these guys put out dope designs for dope charities. Go, children.
It's the holiday season. Come on, Kyle.
Nah, dude. All right, we got the Dolphins. Oh, wait, who'd you pick, Scooter? You went Patriots too? Everybody picked Patriots?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Dolphins at Commanders. Another Sunday at 1 game. Damn. All them AFC East games are at 1. I guess I'll go first on this one. God, dude. Commanders. I'm going to do it. Who cares?
I was going to go there.
Who cares? I'm going to do it.
Have you watched the Commanders play this season?
Yeah.
At all?
Yeah. Woof.
They looked good 2 weeks ago after losing their two defensive ends, and then this past week it's like, well, they're definitely missing their 2-star defensive ends.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. No, I don't know, man. I hate McDaniels. I think I would really like him if he was our coach, but I just hate. Him, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good take.
Yeah.
It's like a dirty hockey player, right? Like you hate that dude unless he's on your team. Yeah. And you're like, oh, he's scrappy.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, he's got heart.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Oh, he mixes it up, you know. He's
not afraid to get in there.
I'm picking Miami's gonna win that game.
Miami, all
right. Whatever the spread is, I would take them.
It's 42.
I was gonna go Commanders because they're playing at home, so I went and checked the weather report. It looks like it's gonna be 60 clear with 0 chance of participation. So it's like, oh my God, can't Miami just come somewhere and have a shitty ass, rainy, snowy weather?
Did you say
I'm going with
participation or precipitation?
Precipitation.
Oh, I thought you said
0%. Anyways, I'm with you, Swank. Upset.
Oh, I like it. Kyle's going up on this one, but at least I'm not going lone
wolf on that one.
Going long. Where's Jarrod
with the favorite? Wow, what a game!
Really making a reach. Just making a reach there.
Wow.
All right, let's see here. What other? There's Bengals Jaguars Monday night. That might be somewhat interesting. Would have been more interesting.
Bengals Jaguars.
Bengals Jaguars. Yep. We can pick that one. Scooter.
I'm at the point now where I'm going to root for the teams that we want to win. Jacksonville's going to take the AFC South. They're up 2 games right now. Let them take over the AFC South. Keep winning. Keep the Cincinnati Bengals out of conversation. They're 5-6. Give them their 7th loss.
Yeah.
Let's go Jaguars.
Matt.
I don't hate the state of Ohio, but they are down right now. Ohio State went down. The Browns are going down. The Bengals need to go down in this game. I'm with that 100%.
I love it.
Go Jacksonville.
I'm there, man. All Jags. All Jags. What's up, Joey Hatch? I'm not doing bad, man. How are you? Let's see. Rob's got some suggestions. 49ers, Eagles. Yeah. NFC game. That's going to be a good game, though. We should pick that one.
It's a game of the week.
Yeah.
Game of the week of the month.
The San Francisco 49ers travel to Philadelphia for a 4:25 kickoff in a battle of the NFC heavyweights.
That should be an NFC Championship preview right there.
Oh, yeah, probably, man. That's a good call.
It should be.
That's a good call.
Unless you think Dallas is going to get in there, but I don't know.
Dallas will disappoint, man. Who's behind them?
I don't know, guys. I see the 49ers versus the Detroit Lions being there.
The Lions, yeah.
Goff gonna Goff, man. I don't know. Like I like the Lions story, but Jared Goff, man, I just don't trust him. We're sitting there on Thanksgiving, and my dad and I were talking about it, and he threw like 3 great passes, and then the next one, while I was telling my dad, I just don't trust him because he'll throw a couple great passes, and then he'll just launch one somewhere or throw a pick, and it was 5 yards over the guy's head on like a 10-yard out, and I'm like, right there, man. But anyway,
there it is.
Whoop, there it is, dude. All right, who you got, Kyle?
Oh, I want the 49ers to win that game.
Me too. I'm there with
I know the Eagles came up with a win the past 2 weeks against the Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, but they've shown that they can be beat. The Niners defense is too strong. I do believe that, and they do have the offensive firepower with Samuel, McCaffrey, Ayuk. I don't think this will be a close game. I think the Niners blows them out.
Ayuk's a guy I'd love to see in a Bills uniform.
Oh.
We're talking about that already.
All right. We usually do a toilet bowl. I don't know if this is a toilet bowl, man, because I like this team and the way it's coming up. And they have a better spot than we do right now. And the other team that they're playing beat us. So Broncos at Texans. At Texans.
That's not a toilet bowl. Texans are legit.
They are legit, dude. Stroud is he's gonna be an exciting quarterback for a long time, and I love the way that team has rebuilt. Like O'Brien set that team on fire and destroyed their legacy. And then they're the only team that's handled Deshaun Watson right. And all that stuff, man. And they just built it, and like all of a sudden this year it's like, wow, like they did it right. They came in like a quarter of the way through the season, all of a sudden it's like, holy, and Stroud's for real, man. So I'm on Texans all the way. But Wilson has found a little bit of rhythm. Like it seems like he's not completely done. Last year would have made you think that. But yeah, now I'm going Texans. I'm
didn't you say that didn't you say that Jets were playing Atlanta?
Yeah.
Isn't that your toilet bowl right there?
I mean, usually the AFC East games we don't call a toilet bowl, but it is. It absolutely is.
That's
yeah. I mean, looking at everything else, it is. Browns at Rams. That defense is too good. Panthers.
This Denver-Houston game, guys. You're right. I love what Stroud's doing. He's so smart, and he's got the offensive firepower. And I think I would love to see these guys make the playoffs. I am going. What's going to help the Buffalo Bills out the most? With both Denver and Houston being 6-5, Denver would have the tiebreaker over the Bills if they had the same record. So Houston, go ahead and take care of Denver Broncos for us for now.
I think they're the more like. Just if you want like a good playoff picture, man, like you don't want Denver, you don't want like what's Pittsburgh doing, right? Like, yeah, those teams are going to get into the playoffs and they're going to get blown the fuck out, right? Like,
we are
Give me-
we are after 9. Okay, Kyle, we're after 9 o'clock. You can say
Oh,
that.
sorry.
No, you're good, dude. You can say whatever you want.
I don't know. I just want like if you want good teams, right? Like let's not mess around with Denver
Yeah.
in the playoffs, right? That's just
Right.
gonna be nasty. So
And
go
Denver-
Houston. Go Houston.
And Denver's a team that has played in the snow, whereas Houston is a dome team. And no matter what, it looks like Houston, if they were to make the playoffs, they'd be traveling the whole time. So you would want to take the advantage of having a weather game over a dome situation. So I would rather have Houston having to play in the elements versus the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I agree. Just checking this out real fast. Who else we need to freaking get out of Dodge? So it would be helpful, I think, if the Rams beat the Browns, because they're in the 6th spot. The Colts are playing the Titans. The Titans aren't much of nothing, and the Colts, I think, are middling. There's a lot of teams this year.
Right there.
Yeah, that just, I mean, the Bills should be on the top of this pack with an amazing record right now and looking down, laughing at everybody. You know, like KC, they're not what they are supposed to be. I don't think the Eagles are really what the record shows either. And I think the Bills played them tight enough to prove that. Like, there's a lot of teams that
it just thinks that like the way that the schedule fell because like we
Yeah.
didn't take care of business against the teams we should have early on, and
Yeah.
now you just got this gauntlet, right? Like coming
Yeah.
down, you've still got like 3 teams that are playoff bound, right? And then New England, right? That's the end of your year, and you know it's just kind of hard to dig yourself out of this hole looking forward. Like there's no more room for error, but like you got the Chiefs, you got Dallas, you got Miami, and like that's a tall task.
Yeah, it's big.
Sorry, I just got off track there.
No, you're good. You're good.
Just got a little sad.
Pick yourself up, man. Dust yourself off. All right, guys. Listen, it's been a hell of a great night. Thank you so much for all the comments and participation. Viewership has been loaded this whole time. You guys are killing it, and you know, we appreciate you. We appreciate you, motherfuckers. Thank you. Kyle, usually what we do is go around and do a little final thought. Tell them where they can find you if you're so inclined, and yeah, then we'll say our goodbye. So, what's your final thought?
Hey, well, I'll go first since I'm the guest.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I threw it to you.
Well, I guess my final thought is thanks for having me, and hopefully, if you hated the sound of my voice, like it's just a one and done, and you'll be back to normal next week. So I appreciate you letting me sit in, and hopefully I didn't cause you guys to tank your viewership this week, and kill everything you're trying to build over here. And you can catch me in section 142. You can come by, bring me a beer, and I'll drink it. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. No, man, you did killer. Thanks for filling in, man. It was fun. Do it more often. It seems like everybody in the comments enjoyed you and your Christmas tree and your voice. So let them know. Come on, let them know. Just pat his ego a little bit. Let him come back sometime.
I can't even see the comments.
There's it's like your mom, my mom, and Scott's mom. That's it.
Yeah.
Typical viewership.
Yeah.
No, but you killed it, Kyle. Thanks for coming on, man. For sure. You'll
Appreciate
be on
it, guys.
again.
Thank you.
Hell yeah, man. Adam says, nice work. Love the Christmas tree. Jarrod says, thank you, Kyle. That's exactly how he said it probably in real life.
That sounds like his voice.
Scooter, who you got? What do you got? What's going on? What's your final thought?
I got a few things. Like I said earlier, before right when the show started, Dell, awesome enough to send the Mafia. Guys, you wouldn't give up on your family. You would never give up on your family. It's not the time to give up on the Bills Mafia family. We're still going to sell out these home games. We're going to cheer loud every game because we still have a chance. It's not over. And I know the offense is coming alive, and we got some criticisms on McDermott and the defense. This stuff does come together. Hopefully it's coming together now so we can make this run. The Chiefs are beatable. We saw that. Now we got a week to prepare for them. The Cowboys, I think, are a little overrated, and the rest of the schedule is something we can worry about when it comes to it. Don't give up. Don't give up on the Bills Mafia. There's still 5 weeks to play, and if you go to ESPN's playoff bracket machine, you could dabble with it. Pick some realistic games, pick some non-realistic games, and you can see that within the next 2 weeks we could fall into playoff contention for real. So don't give up. Love you guys. The comments came in like crazy. We'll spin that Fandemonium Wheel of Destiny next week with the added names from today to find out who wins that Gregory Rousseau mini helmet. And we will be posting teams that you should be rooting for. Now, don't get me wrong. There's going to be some situations where you're like, well, the Bills should win regardless. But everyone needs help. Everyone needs help. That's how people get into the playoffs. That's how people miss the playoffs, is because other teams have to perform a certain way. We're going to paint a picture of who we should be rooting for the next couple weeks for our Buffalo Bills. Obviously, they got to hold their own, but we'll be painting a picture for you guys that don't understand what teams we should be watching, who should we be rooting for. We're going to help you out with that so we can cheer on more than just the Bills for these couple weeks. Thanks for joining. Love you guys. Awesome sauce. Go Bills.
Go
And
Bills.
And that, brother, is
And
where
that
I'm
is the Fu Manchu for you. Guys, thanks for hanging out. You guys killed it for real. And we appreciate it. We appreciate all the support. Don't forget we're part of the Buff Fan Base Network. Please go follow everybody on the Buff Fan Base. That's Robbie from Let's Talk 716 Sports. That's Robin. That's Justice General. That's our boy RT, Thomas Takes Sports Podcast. Don't forget, tune in to Sunday Sessions. There will be no Sunday Sessions this week because there's no game. But an hour and a half before kickoff, we'll be on to go over your inactives and talk shop, get those final little quotes and comments in. Also, you can join us right here every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the K-Gun Report. And you can find us on YouTube's, Facebooks, Twitters, Jimmy Jabs, everywhere, anywhere you want. Yeah, man, just appreciate how good they are now. I say it almost every week. We went through a really long time where they were no fun to watch. And even with them being 6-6, they're still fun to watch. They'll give you a heart attack all the way up through the game. We'll sell you the whole seat. You only use the edge. That's the way it goes. Shit, man. Thanks so much. Go Bills.
Hey, go to 142 and buy our man, Mr. Kyle Gobe, a beer.
Yeah,
Go Bills.
Spend $20 on me, buddy.
Give us a Go Bills, Kyle.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Sweet talk to beast, dog tail jack to go and fetch your bang.